Is live. My name's Fola. We're going to be talking about the new spiritual path. Is there a new spiritual path? What does that look like? And what better way to, I guess, take us there than the old path, the lovely Bible? So we'll probably do some like bibliomancy, which is kind of funny that we'd even call it that, from the Bible. I was kind of actually thinking Proverbs because someone was messaging me before coming on here, and I was just kind of asking them about this connection to God, connection to spirit as the like primary focus, I think. So when life is like not working out for you, or you're kind of feeling just like in the rut, to me, it's like how do we bring it back to our spiritual path, our connection with God, with the divine? So we're gonna pull some cards for the collective and the opportunity. If you would like personal cards pulled, the ruins, whatever, we'll see what I guess intuitively wants to come through. You can let me know in the comments. As always, members and people who leave donations, whether through like the little super bucks thing, whatever, get priority readings. And I will do my best to get to or through everyone before the end of the hour. And then I'll probably call it quits till, yeah, the next time. So we're going to tune in here. Before we get into the flow of that, though, let me know, how are you doing? What is showing up for you in your world lately? We have a Scorpio new moon coming up this Wednesday. If you would like to take part in a ritual to help kind of activate some of this spiritual recalling or remembering in your life, I invite you to join me in the membership portal. You just simply hit join and you can take part. That's going to be Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And yeah, that's kind of the only other thing I think I have thus far in November for an event online, though, you know, there's always things happening. But for now, let's tune in. Let's see, what are the messages that want to come through for the collective? So we just ask all those guides, those ancestors, those beings of light that wish to support us. You be present here. Just give us the clearest messages that can support us with this spiritual path. So really the reason I wanted to come and talk about this stuff was because of just this realization, again, how important our spiritual essence is, our connection to the divine, and how busy life can get with all the noise, everything out there in the world. If you're online, you're here on YouTube, obviously, you know, it's easy to get distracted with the things. And so personally, I've been like cutting back on my time that I'm spending on certain apps, like deleting apps, hiding the apps through like the software system that I use on my phone, and just really being mindful, because I feel like it's just this noise that is wanting to be cleansed out. And this can come in so many different ways for you, right? If it's something you're eating, the music you're listening to, the things that you're just putting in your space, you need to, I really just am going to say, like, I feel like this is the time to cleanse all this shit out so that you can tune into what is true for you. So with that being said, let's see what the Bible has to say. Hello, fuzzy funnies. I like that. You're my favorite YouTuber. Oh, well, thank you. That's sweet of you. When you're having anxiety. Okay, well, I hope I'm contributing to some groundedness for you. Appreciate you being here. Let's see what the Bible says, though. You know, you're talking about anxiety. You know, there's a lot of energies, new moon stuff, really shifts things. Hi, Obi. Oh, appreciate that, too. Look at y'all giving me compliments today. That's nice of you. But the Bible, you know, it really is like the oldest magical text. So what message do you have for us here, good old Bible, for this reading that can awaken our spiritual paths? It's funny because I was going to say we should go to the book of Proverbs, um, and just pick from one of the chapters in Proverbs. And where does it open? Proverbs 10. Well, so there we go. So the whole thing about Proverbs. Oh, okay, fuzzy funnies. I have an anxiety disorder. I'm only 10 years old, hey? Yeah, I wonder how much time you spend on the tech, you know? We were talking about this. It's funny, Proverbs 10 too. Um, just how much that noise can contribute to us picking up on everybody's stuff. But to me, going to the Bible, and maybe because I grew up in a very Christian home, there's something really grounding or an essence that exists in some of it. Not all. I'm not going to say everything in the Bible I agree with, but I do think there's something if we're feeling this need to ground and connect. And so we're going to read. My fingers here is landed at Proverbs 10, verse 10. But I'll read verse 9, or maybe verse 8 and a couple below verse 10, just to give us like some relative context, because that is a huge part, I think, when we read the Bible. We need context, historical context, and so forth. So it says, "The wise in heart accept commands, but a chattering fool comes to ruin. The man of integrity walks securely, but he who takes crooked paths will be found out. He who winks maliciously causes grief, and a chattering fool comes to ruin. The mouth of the righteous is a fountain of life, but violence overwhelms the mouth of the wicked. Hatred stirs up dissension, but love covers over all wrongs. Wisdom is found on the lips of the discerning, but a rod is for the back of him who lacks judgment. Wise men store up knowledge, but the mouth of a fool invites ruin." So I'm just going to place this thing over here. And we're going to do the very unchristian thing and pull tarot cards. Because why would I do one thing to make you all think that this is normal, right? So just thinking about that, you know, the book of Proverbs is literally just about wisdom, focusing on wisdom, focusing on when things maybe aren't really working for us. How can we turn to God for the internal wisdom? And when we can do that, then it's not like our problems go away, but we have a better chance of like moving through and learning from those experiences. We're better able to discern, right? Know what's for us or not. And we're better able to, like, I guess, walk a path of life that we feel this like sureness inside. It's not about, you know, I think about like where it says in other parts of the Bible, like the straight and narrow path, or like the path that's maybe a little more narrow is a bit more hard to walk there. I think personally, what it really is coming down to is when we are so connected to our divine truth, to God. To me, that's God, the truth of the divine inside, right? Like that kingdom of God is inside. When we are so connected to that, then we walk with like purpose, and we walk with a sense of faith and hope and trust. But unfortunately, the world we live in is like creates so much noise that it's hard to sometimes remember that or reconnect to it. And this is kind of where I was being pulled this week. I heard about this spiritual teacher, Gurdjieff, who is like an Armenian, I don't know if he's Persian Armenian or Greek Armenian, actually, I think it was. And his concept of this fourth way, which I'm still in the process of learning, reading, understanding, whatever. So I don't want to like go into too much detail about that. But what I understand is his whole method of spiritual attainment was the fourth way, moving beyond the three other ways, which were like body, heart, and mind, which we could see in the past of like kind of, I think he tied it to like the Islamic sort of faith, the Sufis. Then we have the Christian, like monk based faith. And then we have the yogic, like East Indian, Hindu yogi tradition. And all of these kind of focus on different aspects, whereas he was like, there needs to be a way that incorporates everything, That's the fourth way. And it's a way in which we are not having to exclude ourselves from the day-to-day life, because you all have people in your life, family, school, work, whatever. But how do you incorporate your spirituality within all of these things? So I just want to speak that. And whatever that might look like for you, there's wisdom in that. Okay. So let's pull some cards for this. Hi, Castiel. Yeah, anxiety since 6. Yeah, that's pretty young. You must be very sensitive, Fuzzy Bethanies. I love God. He is our Father. There's barely any Christian YouTubers out there, at least. There's more than 100. Yeah, I appreciate that. I wouldn't say I'm a Christian YouTuber, but I'm pulling cards now. Bitches! So we're going to see what the cards say. Okay, wait. I just got to see this. I think actually I wrote this in my journal this morning. I think it was in my journal, not in the notes, but one of the cards that came out is the Aeon. So right off the bat, I'm kind of like, to me, it's like there's a new Aeon opening up. There's a new beginning, you know, different occultists, even that Gurdjieff is basically talking about a new way of existing. It's interesting how him, Crowley, a lot of these people who talked about, you know, this new chapter were all kind of born and lived through the transition between the late 1800s till the 1900s. I think that they were really like these prophets, if we can say, bringing forward something new. Okay, so that's our last card. It's Sheen. Usually this would be like the Judgment card. Yeah. Hello, Golden Lily. Hello. Hi. Okay, so we have the 5 of Wands, we have the 10 of Stones, and we have the 4 of Wands. So there's almost like this transition here. We're from conflict with the 5 of Wands, the 10 of Wands being, I'm not sure if it's clear there for you, richness, and then the 4 of Wands being perfection. And I like how in this card, you can see there's a bit of that like little glass orb in the back. I'm kind of seeing the beginning steps of this. What does it mean to have a perfected sense of self, right? This fetus, like in the womb, in this egg shape, having everything and receiving everything it needs for its sustenance in life to develop and be born. We don't like exist in our world where we're like, okay, we got to make sure we give that baby inside the mother's womb every single thing. We're going to make sure we inject this and that and balance these hormones. No. The mother's body just innately does the things. Yes, of course, sometimes there's other things at play, other circumstances, and like genetics, things like that. But I think overall, the development from conception to then birth, that baby, that gestation period is like very divinely guided. So why would your life be any different? There's something about this fire energy with the 5 and 4 of Wands. It's like we have conflict to perfection. We were just talking this morning about like life sometimes is difficult. Things happen, right? We get certain anxieties, emotions, intense feelings or thoughts. But like this world again with the noise of the like quick dopamine fix, watch something funny, feel good for like a few moments, distract yourself, watch something fearful in the news, and then feel that energy from it. It's very like quick based. In this world, I think we need to, on the spiritual path especially, come to feel much more like balanced in how we are approaching different emotions or thoughts and not push against them, not try to just turn them into like, a positive dopamine hit. We're meant to experience this conflict. I place this in the East, that beginning point. It's because there is a need for us to, if you think about all the times where good things kind of happen, it's because of a conflict. To me, this is even like just the concept of Jesus. You know, if Jesus wasn't like crucified, there would not have been like a faith around him, really. Do you know what I mean? There needs to be something to push against. So what are you pushing against? What is creating the conflict for you right now? And can that be a bit of a sign of where the path is taking you, the spiritual path? I had the realization about this not long ago, just about like judgment. This energy of judgment, me judging others, me experiencing judgment from certain people in my life, to the point of then transmuting that into this, like, what the term was used for me by like one of my mentors was this like demon, that if we can like basically put it outside of ourselves, we can much more easily see it. And so I literally made like a little effigy of this thing made out of clay, and now it's turned into this whole other thing, which I'm eventually probably going to make a video about to like support you. But I want to just say, whatever this conflict is for you, can you like convert it into some other external, whether it's something you see or you draw a picture of it, paint it, you write its name down or write down a description of it, put it to an external place from your body, so it's no longer just in here. Give this conflict a name, give it like a personality, okay? And then from here, you're able to use it. To me, this is kind of where the magic comes into play, where you get to transmute this energy into something that actually benefits you. And I think that's where we move through the richness in the West. 10 of Stones, we get to see, oh, look, there's actually something of benefit here. That conflict, again, just using the analogy of Jesus being crucified, right? That how horrible that would have been for the people around or experiencing that. But then the richness that came after, we have the 5 moving into a 10. So there's something about the wholeness here. And I love how there's like even that little like sun kind of like, that's, I don't know if you can see that very well, but there's like a little ball of light there, just like, whew. And interestingly enough, how that's in this position, I would say, that's like the position of Da'ath, knowledge. If we had like Yesod, and if we had, if that's just, I see this as a tree of life. Whatever you see is up to you. And then we have the 4 of Wands in the south direction, this perfection. So when we've moved all that, when we've come to terms with that internal conflict, notice how before the wands were all upright in this like almost like forceful, like protective zone. Here they're balanced. They're in all sorts of directions. Hi, Ritik. Hello. Am I a good person? Huh. You tell me. I don't know you. Are you? So this perfection energy with its balanced fire, its will balanced. I'm seeing this almost as the direction of like the spiritual, true, like personal will. These 2 aspects of self, dare I call them, moving in like a synchronistic sort of way. Recognizing this, and I see it here with this Aeon card with the blood, river, and the water. Fire and water, the 2. Balancing. So we're going to just ask those healing angels to support you with wherever wants to be balanced right now, so that you can go through this transition from conflict through richness and perfection into this next level of your spiritual path. And if any of what I'm saying just doesn't make sense to you, that's okay. Just trust that whatever, you're here for a reason, Can you tell me from the cards? I mean, I can definitely pull cards once we get to the personal card pulls for you, Ritik, if you would like. So in the Spirit Center, we have 7 of Swords. So I feel like there's like a quick movement forward here for many of you. We only have, 6 more weeks of this year. Pretty much like not even that, right? There's going to be some quick movement for many of you, but you're leaving the camp, you're leaving the societal norm. And in a way, this is what's required, but not in the way, like I was saying, how the old place was like, go and do like a 10-day silent retreat, or go and live in the mountains of Tibet for like 2 years. There's still something about the work here, about he's carrying swords. He's just not walking away with no possessions. But there's definitely something around here, you stepping onto your own path. I like how he's kind of like looking down, like quickly rushing from this camp where they're preparing something. Did he steal those swords from the camp? I don't know. Whatever you see is up to you. But that path can be one where, it requires you to both maintain your day-to-day experience of this life, work, do the things like that are required of you, and also do the spiritual aspects. And that's where things can get a little bit like lonely. Okay. Okay. Why are you here? Oh, I'm here because I chose to be here. Yeah, I can read your comments, Ritik. I just read it when I read it. But if you would like personal cards pulled, you can let me know. And then when I get to that, because we're doing a collective reading right now, I will let you know. So, Hello, Subir Rai. What was between Kanak Malik and Dog? Yeah, I'm not sure what that was. I guess I could just say, like, you guys, I don't do readings that are like, if you're new here, like, you might not really get some of the approach to the intuitive readings I do. This is not about fortune telling. This is not about determining if you're going to pass a class, or you are the creator of your reality. I'm just here to use cards, the symbols of the cards, to illuminate maybe what some things are that need to be seen for you on your path, and as a way of like catalyzing energy so that you can just live that life of like freedom, connected to your truth, aligned with your true will. Okay, so I'm just naming that. I won't necessarily pull cards for like other people, in the sense of, yeah, okay. So Ritik, I'm going to put your name in. And Subir, you said, when did you write here? Can you do the reading? I'm confused and why she wants to me. I mean, we could definitely pull cards to see about relationship, love stuff for you, but I don't know what that person is thinking. And that can change at any point, right? But what we can look at is what are some things that maybe you need to be aware of so that you can open up to more love in your life. Okay? So let's just pull a couple more cards here for the collective reading, and then we'll get into those personal card pulls. I want to see if there's a chakra associated to this for us. I'm curious if it's sacral related. Something that wants to be healed. So we have completion. Sacral. I could feel that before the card, so it's like feeling in that low sacral space, like this like rumbly energy. Completion. So we're going to ask that orange light of the sacral. I was just speaking on this earlier around how it's tied to our self-worth, our creativity, our ability to be in flow, our deservedness. our emotionality. Just calling in that orange light. You can envision it in your sacral space, just beneath your belly button, like the dawning of that new sun. Imagine that sun coming over the horizon, and as that warmth of the sun's rays touches your skin, it just all fills into your sacral space. When we talk about the Aeon, I'm just realizing how the Aeon, the judgment card, is literally the resurrection of Christ. Oh my God, I just realizing that. This completion, this new beginning, this new way of experiencing your spiritual path. And I think it starts with that space of the sacral. It starts with that place of like, what is it you desire? What's exciting for you? And you are letting go of old self. I've had a couple conversations with people today, Nesrin included. Hello, Nesrin. And it's like the reflection on like these old parts that have been like dying. The old parts of self that have been dying so that a new you can come through. So just envisioning and sensing that orange sacral light filling in that space, bringing balance. Thank you, healing angels. Shurayashtanayana, Dorayamarayashtani, Kunnarayasa. And whatever pulsations, whatever energies are moving in that space for you, trust that this whole process is happening for your benefit. It's happening for you. Let's pull one of these. Thank you. And I'm going to pull two more because Nesrin and I were playing around with these other cards this morning. And I think it'll be a good thing for you to shake up your life. Or I'll just make one up, but let's see. Council of Light we have here. Divine orchestration. Helpers in the subtle realms. So, I mean, I can see that here. You got these helpers, or the helper, right? Guiding. But you have all, look at this. This is all the spirit. We have Jesus right on the card. Yeshua, the Buddha, the Mother, all these other ascended masters. Mary, Oshun, I think it is. Well, or at least physical representations of such. You have everything at your disposal, supporting you, moving through you, through your chakras. I mentioned the other day doing the middle pillar exercise. You guys, this is something, honestly, I feel like every day, if you can do it, or some version of it. I'm going to be sharing hopefully another recorded one from, I think it's actually this Cicero couple, but it's in this Garden of Pomegranates edition by Israel Regardie. And they have an exercise in here. If you do have this book, I don't know if I can find it now. I saved it, I think. Yeah. Page 175. I'm probably going to like make a recording of it. The middle pillar exercise on the parts of the soul. Since doing that, that's when a lot of these things started coming through. So if you do have that or this book, or can get a copy and you want to guide it yourself, otherwise check back. But what, page 175, it's a few pages of a guided practice with the middle pillar, but tying it to the tree within our bodies and the different levels of the soul in the Kabbalistic tradition. There's something about this that I think can really help awaken this divine connection, okay? So I'm just naming that to whoever I guess needed to hear that right this very moment. I don't usually talk about the things I'm going to do because then it puts pressure on me to have to do it. But there's something there. Oh, I put that card back. But let's pull one of these for us. So this next card is going to be a thing that we can all do at some point in the next week, if you can, hopefully. You can modify it if you want, but I definitely recommend doing the entirety of whatever it might be, which Could be a really intense thing because God knows these cards are a little intense. But as a shake up, okay? A shake up to where you have been, that conflict, into this new aeon, this new aspect of your spiritual path. Yeah, thanks, Nazareth. I appreciate you too. Your card's coming soon, Ratik. If you're not going to be patient, I won't pull a card for you. I don't know what to tell you, man. Okay. Well, here's the card. This is an interesting one. Oh, I've never done this one. So, the instruction on the back of the card is write your name slowly. And it says at the bottom, the duration for this is 1 hour. Ooh, bless me. So it says you will need pencil and paper for this exercise over the period of 1 hour. I'm telling you, this stuff ain't easy. Write your full name only once with your pencil moving continuously and never leaving the paper. So I'm invited, if 1 hour is too long, because that is a long time. If it's half an hour, 10 minutes, you can work your way up. I would say try for the hour. Set a timer. There's another one she has, I have done, where I think it was like drink a glass of water for this extended period of time. Oh my God. This is going to be a different one. Write your full name over that period of an hour. Only once, though, not, you're going to have to and see how, and the things that come up, you guys, the things that come up when we do these sorts of bizarro experiences, it's going to shake things for you. But I love how it's like, write your name. Have you ever never written a eulogy for yourself? That's another thing I recommend. But if you haven't, there's something about focusing on self in these sorts of practices that can really activate deeper parts of you and make you face parts of yourself that maybe you didn't want to. So I just leave that for you. Do what you will. It makes no difference to me. If you come here, listen, take heed of what I say, or if you go and just continue your path of whatever. It's your life. So, I think that's all we have to say about those collective cards. Thank you, spirits, guides. Thank you, healing angels. So now we'll get into personal card pulls. Okay, Ratik. Thank you. Yeah, I did sneeze. Ooh. Let us do that. Calling to your guides, those ancestors that wish to be here, present. Ratik Metta. Let's see what the cards have to say for you. I don't think you asked. You asked if you were a good person. So that's interesting that you're contemplating that. What does Ratik Metta need to know? We got the Four of Swords, the Truce card. We got the Three of Wands. I'm just going to take... Oh, I'm not even going to take that because there's a couple cards in the deck that were upside down. Interesting. Okay. Okay, Ratik. So it started off with the Four of Swords, Truce. I'm really noticing that feather. Okay? Really noticing that feather. The concept of Maat. We have the Three of Wands, Virtue. And we have the Alchemy card, which is usually Temperance. So there is something here. What I'm really like, this balancy, like fire and water, or like those elements of like like tempering and like, with alchemy, that's the whole process of like looking at our shadow, looking at our light aspects. So looking at the fact that you can be a good person, looking at the fact that sometimes you're not a good person, and bringing um, balance to those, right? And like the fact that you have this Four of Swords, this like truce energy to me is like, what's the love like that you can have towards yourself that's going to bring a sense of balance internally, that you're not questioning this. There's a knowledge. You have the Eight of Stones in the North. There's a knowledge that wants to be gained here. Okay. But I'm going to pull a card and see what this is. It's interesting how the Three of Wands, Ratik, is kind of like blocking this open door. So let's see what that's about. Actually, I'm going to pull a chakra card, I think. What is that? What's the block there that wants to be healed for Ratik? Soulmate. So I don't know if you've had some connection with someone or if this is related to someone, like, yeah, whether or not you identify them as like your soulmate. It's almost like I'm not getting like beating heart, which is interesting. This is a root chakra card, by the way, with red. But like what I'm kind of seeing is this like outward projection of your focus on another or on other, like, like maybe this, I don't know if this is where you're at, where you're like wanting to find someone to be in relationship with, or you're like just hyper focused on like the partner, um, instead of focused on the internal world. I can really feel like this, like heart beating, fluttering, and like when the body is communicating things to us, if we don't like go inside and listen and sense and become aware of everything that shows up, again, that good and the not so good stuff, then that can like, we're not gonna have progression forward. We're not gonna gain the knowledge because we're just constantly looking out, right? Um, so in terms of the healing of whatever you might be going through right now, Ratik, like I would definitely say turn it inside. Because your number one soulmate is, to me, that really is God. The relationship with ourselves, the relationship with God, this internal world needs to be the primary thing. Otherwise, everything else is not going to make sense. We're going to doubt ourselves if we're good. We're going to doubt if what we did was virtuous or right. So if you've never explored shadow work or things like this, I mean, yeah, I think you said you subscribe, but like definitely I would invite you to tune back more, explore other things, or even just look up online around like shadow work and different exercises or practices that you can incorporate to support you. Because we have the Hebrew letter here, Samek, with this card, alchemy or temperance, and that is the prop, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. I was getting confused with shin, but that's, yeah, anyway. So that's going to support you, this knowledge, this piece here. We'll pull one more card here. Whatever it comes up to when you go into meditation, if it feels like too overwhelming for you, Ratik, ground down. That's why you got the root card. Because I'm like feeling a lot of it, like, sometimes, I don't know if you've had this, but I'm just feeling it. Like where you meditate or you do spiritual practice and it becomes so overwhelming. And it's like, grounding. Your spiritual path can be going in nature, connecting, right? I will start writing. Yeah, Desiree, I'll check in with you in an hour. Oh, interesting. Okay, so the card that just came out for you, Ratik, is you're already doing it. Stop overthinking. Maybe that's why that energy of like up here, but I was feeling like it felt like it went from up. Just, yeah, stop overthinking it. You're already doing it. But ground down. Keep facing your true north. Yeah, I think that true north is really that internal space. The thing, we all are feeling that call, but we get distracted thinking the call is something outside of ourselves. When it's actually just the internal, like, is there anything else that needs to be said here? Yeah, just that invitation again, go into nature. There's something about Pan I'm seeing here with the 8 and Mercury and all, whatever. I'm not going to get into all that energy there. So, the pleasures of nature. What can that bring for you? And support you with feeling grounded within the spiritual practice and feel connected to yourself. Okay, I think that's it, Ratik. So I just thank your guides, those angels, those beings that are supporting you, that they continue to walk with you, guide you. Thank you for being here. Okay, Subir, I think, was next. Hello, Dominique. Okay. Subir was asking about something between them and another person. So we'll tune into some of that. And yeah, if anyone else, I think I might have time for one more reading after Subir. And obviously, if you'd like personal cards pulled, like a personal reading, you can head to the link in the description. You can book a personal reading with me. You can check out my shop. And I also have like some free rituals, including like a stop blocking your abundance, cock blocking. That's the cock blocking that we do. Stop receiving from the universe. So there's a ritual. You can get the guide for free on my website, have access to that. Lots of different ways to connect and do the fun stuff with me. Hello, my Kaya. You can ask. I don't know what you're asking. Okay, so sassy, everyone. Okay, the Subir Rai. Let's see. You asked about some people between them and her feelings. So let's just see what this is around love for you, Subir. But yeah, Micaiah, if you'd like cards pulled, you can let me know, because I don't think anyone else has asked. You may be our last. Oh, okay, Subir's guys have the Hermit. The Hermit, the Four of Stones. So there's power in solitude is what I'm seeing right off the bat here. We have Krishna, the Prince of Wands. So I don't know what Krishna means to you, Subir. The Son of Wands, fire energy. And we have the Tower. So someone tell me, Krishna. What exactly is his? Is he protection? Okay, protection, compassion, love. Interesting. Because at the top above that, we have the Tower card. So it's like there's something here that within this energy of these, it's weird, I'm seeing these as like polar opposites from each other. It's not usually how I would read it. I'm his devotee. Interesting. Avatar of Vishnu. Interesting. that you'd say that. And I don't know what you mean by devotee. Like, are you like married? Do you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna just speak like, so if you are devoted and married as the hermit to a god, then why would you have a relationship of love with someone else? You know, and maybe I don't understand it from the perspective of different, like, you know what I mean? Like, who are you committed to, I guess is what I'm saying. Who are you committed to? And it's interesting that you would have this four of stones in the West, in the earth place. That's the West in the shamanic tradition I've been learning. Because the stones is earthy, right? It's like the ground, it's the material world. We have four here as well, so there's something about the materialization into the physical world from the top three triad, like the like spiritual aspect into. So I guess what I'm saying with this, Subir, for you is like not to dismiss the spiritual connection to Vish or Krishna or any of these spiritual aspects, but like, where is the priority? There's something shifting for you, transforming, old structures being torn down. And the way I'm seeing this is kind of like if you were here at the beginning, that whole concept of the old way or the fourth way, and how the old ways, the yogi, the Sufi, the Christian monk tradition, was this hermity separation of focusing and connecting just with God, right? And to me, when Jesus came, and how I think the ways are moving us forward is this love way of being on the earth, of experiencing love, experiencing connection to people, being willing and open to, because that is like the new spirituality. That's the new religion, is love. Let's put it that way. So, can you take this all back to your prayers and connection with Krishna and have this conversation? Because it seems to me like you're wanting some type of relationship, wanting to connect with someone, whoever it is, whether it's this woman, I assume, or person from the past, right? Or at least someone who is even better for you in the near future. Can you have that conversation here in your prayers and be like, show me how to embody love in my day to day outside of the devotion to you? Because really, what happens, the devotion to another human, a partner, is you actually loving God. Whew. Getting like weird, like, I don't know how to explain that, whatever that is. Okay, Micaiah, thank you for the question. I'll get to that after this. I'm gonna pray to him. Your English seems pretty good. Yeah, your English is good, Subir. Don't worry about that. I just wanted to make sure I understand what you mean by devotee, because like some people would be like, I've completely married a god, right? So maybe there's some confusion here. Like the ghost of this person, is it following you around? Well, what can they do? What can Sabir do about this confusion? You have complacency. So you need to shake something up. I'm gonna probably pull you one of these cards. It's like you're grieving something, maybe that relationship or whatever that thing is. When we become complacent, it's like we're just in the same everyday, in and out, and like still like, oh, I'm gonna shake it up. I'm gonna pull one of these for you. Maybe it'll be an easier one than the one we just pulled for the collective. And if not, then I'm sorry. It's on you. But these cards, to me, it's like shaking up. Oh. Okay, that makes sense now. So this was the card that came. Isn't that a beautiful image? Oh, these cards are so cool. But guess what the card says? Listen to nature. For 1 hour, And look how she's sitting in nature. 1 hour, Sabir. I keep wanting to call you Vishnu. I'm sorry if I'm saying that. That's interesting. Find a spot in nature. Wear a blindfold, so like something to cover your eyes, and sit undisturbed for 1 hour. Listen. So I'm not sure if you can do that where you live or how that works. Set a timer if you have to. Find a spot in nature if you can, if it's safe for you to do that. I don't know. If you don't have nature around you because you're in a major city, if there's like a zoo you can go to, that would be a place. There can still be humans around. Like, let's be honest, we can never fully escape people. But just that blindfold, sit and listen. But the more you could get into nature, as long as it's safe for you to do so. I don't know, man. That's blindfolding by myself in nature. I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna go with a friend maybe and like, hey, can you just watch my back while I do this exercise for an hour? Depending on where it was. There's some places I feel more comfortable doing that because I've been there and I know nothing would come. But there's something about listening. There's something about listening here. And I'm seeing how this person is sitting there in quiet reflection in nature. Something's going to shift for you within this, but maybe it's even just that connection to your spiritual aspect, okay? This is definitely going to clear up whatever is going on for you and this person, though. Because there's confusion. There's like your head is too noisy with whatever you're thinking about this person. So being in nature is going to help you get clarity on that and clear it. Because otherwise you're no good to anyone, okay? So we're just going to ask those angels, healing angels, those guides, to clear, if you want to receive this healing, to just lift and release any cords and attachments between you and, okay, I'm just going to say those names again. What was it? Kanak Malik and Daiwik Kalra. So just breathing that in. Clearing any cords, attachments through the energetic centers. Through the mind, subconscious, conscious, super conscious. And if there's any like sexual energies, attachments, cords there from the womb spaces, attachments, clearing those. Okay, so yeah, I would just recommend continuing to do a practice like that, Subir, like literally imagining cords or pulling energy from you where you feel like it's attached, or anytime you get thoughts about this person or something seems like I just can't catch it, like it's confusing, or my mind's kind of like messy with this energy, literally like, remove it. Yeah. I think that's all I have to say about that. Can I clarify something about her? Very strong past life connection. Yeah, I mean, if you want to go deeper into some of this stuff, I would recommend like a private reading. You can schedule that through the link in the description. Yeah. This focusing on this love of self, right? Having these conversations around spirit and like being with self, I think this in this natural space, something will shift for you, because that's what the hermit is doing. And I want to just add that sometimes with like these types of, karmic, twin flame, soulmate, whatever things we want to call them, these types of experiences with others, there's learnings to be had, and it's all learning and teaching us how to be in self-love. Okay. And the ultimate, oh, what does it say? I should have grabbed that book. Really, what this is teaching you is about love of self. No one can love you, and a relationship can fulfill you more than your relationship with yourself, that relationship with God. Okay? So anytime those thoughts or feelings of like wanting to be with this person arise, like, can you just ask, hey, what am I actually feeling right now that's making me want to be with this person, or focus on them instead of focus on what actually needs to be looked at? I feel abandoned. I feel rejected. I feel alone. I feel unworthy. Whatever it might be. Those underlying parts of yourself that kind of are giving a bit of grief, the confusion. Is she going to come in my life in the future? Well, I can tell you that whatever you're afraid of usually persists. Don't resist it. I think, the better question is, how do I prepare myself for the most loving, kind relationship I could ever possibly experience in my life? Whoever that's meant to be with. Because I can't tell you who's going to come into your life in the future. All the possibilities exist. Me saying yes or no is just going to limit you. That's not why I'm here. Sorry. Well, not sorry. That's not the type of reading or readings or whatever card shares that intuitive guidance I share. Okay. Yeah. I would say sit with all this, and next week I think we're gonna be doing a different call on Monday, but in the future I do these usually on Mondays. Also in the membership, like monthly members only readings. But like I said, if you want to book a actual one-on-one, we could dive more into some of this stuff. Maybe there's some other things, but I'm gonna move on to the next person because I only have a few more minutes. So, okay. Okay, so Micaiah, nature's healing. Oh, I don't think I need to read that. Love is one point to not mean spirituality. Oh, question. Here we go. Okay, well, just thanks to Beer's guides, those ancestors, those healing angels. And we're going to move on to the next here. Micaiah. What my ancestors of light want to say to me through there. What's going on with me? Okay, you just kind of want a general, insightful message. So calling to Micaiah's guides, ancestors, those beings that wish to support them. Ancestors, do you want them to know? So we have the 8 of Cups, failure. We have the Chariot. We have the 6 of Stones with success, and that's positive. Interesting how the arc's there. And we have the Princess of Cups. So there's definitely something around your emotions. I love how we have the Chariot, but it's a Cancer sign card, but it's water, but it's like the arc is there. I don't know if you can see that. There's definitely a high watery emotional aspect here for you. Your emotions might be getting the better part of you, I want to say. Micaiah. I'm a male. Oh, okay, thank you. I assume you mean he then. Yes, ancient Egypt is cool. I guess. Yeah, oh yeah, I see what you mean. So there's something here about that heart. Because we have the 6 of Cups. Or, sorry, the 6 of Stones. And that is the success card. And the 6 in the Kabbalistic system is the heart space. Okay? When we think about the chariot, we think about moving with our life forward, like that arc or that chariot taking us somewhere. Like, really, we can think of that as like the heart, right? Like, it's the heart guides us. So, your emotions can be guiding you in ways that you want, ways that you don't want, right? Maybe in the past it's felt like things have not really been working, or your emotions have been all over the place, or you're just seeing how you've like spilt things here and there, or overextended emotions or not. Um, that can be draining. But this is like now, the fact that we have the chariot here is also calling for boundaries around your emotionality changing, because we have the letter het, which is like fence. So there's something about a boundary there. And that you can be successful in this. You can be successful in this. It's going to be a way for you to. I love how even with the Princess of Cups, there's a bit of a boundary here. So I don't know who you have to set boundaries with. There's 6 of those pillars, by the way, on that card. Is it like family or someone, something is like really trying to like inch their way into your life or into your, that would kind of make sense to me. But there's something about you protecting this self hole. Like we have the hole here between, and we have the cave here. Kind of seeing it as yourself. And especially when we tie in the arc, right? Like the ark was created during those stories of the flood, specifically Noah, because that's the main one that I would say I know majority or more of the story. But it's like that ark was made to protect the animals and protect Noah's family, only a select few, right? Not the whole humanity, just a select few from the flood of impending doom that was to destroy the earth. I always wonder what that would have been like, you know, when the flood was happening, when it was happening. I don't know. It's kind of technically like a figurative mythology story. But what that would have been like for the people on the ark to be witnessing everyone around them drowning. Like, what do you think they went through? And that can oftentimes be what we feel when we're setting boundaries with people. Like, oh my God, they're kind of like, they're dying. Like, they can't handle their own energy. Like, especially if you're someone that's so used to dealing and helping and pleasing people in your life, especially family. I think I shared this in the members card reading for this week. But something that happened to me personally this week, interesting how you have the confusion card too, was this idea that like my family kind of wanted me somewhere else, but I had other things going on and I had to just say no and like let them deal with it themselves. And the point of time when that was coming up, and I was like, I don't want to have to do this myself. Like, why do I always have to be the one to help and solve and fix things? Like, the fucking adults, let them deal with it, right? I'm not saying kids usually need our support, but like, as adults to adults. And I kind of just sat with that idea. And it was funny because this is how I felt, confusion. That card came up for you too. Because I was like, what do I do? And when I feel confused, or if I'm not sure, or even just in general, I think it's best for us to ask questions. And so I asked some questions, just like, what else is possible here? And an answer came through. And I was like, oh, I never even thought about that. Like the answer solution for me was like just telling my sister, hey, tell mom to come back home. Like, why are we making this into this huge big thing? Just set a boundary. So that confusion can be lifted by asking questions for you. You don't have to save everyone. It's not your job. And coming from this place of hard and balanced emotion is like a bridge that's going to help you with manifesting or creating even greater in your life. Okay. Hi, Tai. I think I have to focus on myself more and not let people come towards me, mostly when I'm in energy of manifesting. That makes sense with the Chariot. When I'm doing something to change myself. Okay. We're going to pull one more card for you. And then I think that's it, folks. The more I am focused on myself, start to do something positive. People in the family, phone call from unknown people, pressures. Yeah, I hear that. What's the test? Are you really willing to do it? Oh my gosh, you guys. Like, so, even just this last week, I'm really let go of old self. And within the matter of like 24 hours, I had like different people ask me about some of the old work I did. And I was like, oh, part of me's like, maybe it's not done. And I was like, no, boundary. So it's crazy how that happens. People can feel it. You know how many times I have to like just not respond to phone calls now? Okay, last card for you, Micaiah. Get grounded. This feels like this is kind of like a message that's been coming through all these readings. Empaths, highly sensitives, connect with nature, because that can be a protector in itself. I love, again, there was like an energy of like that cave, right? Being in nature, separating yourself, so to speak, and grounding down can be helpful. But we don't have to do that, like I mentioned with the 4 ways, where those previous 3 ways meant you did that for months at a time. Like, you literally can just go into nature at any point, sit in your car at a park if it's too cold out. Like, you don't have to go into it out all the time. Though I would recommend walking on it, or her, whatever. But can you get grounded and draw that in and trust that that's going to help you also? Because I feel like nature is like a beautiful example of setting boundaries. Okay. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Micaiah, thanks for being here. Thanks everyone for being here. I'll just close the space. Thank you for Micaiah's guides, his ancestors, and beings that wish to support him on the journey, and for being present with all of us as we go through the rest of this week, walking our own personal spiritual paths. Thank you. So yeah, subscribe. You can check out links for personal readings, all the fun stuff, free cock blocking ritual, or bye-bye cock blocking if you want to bring in more abundance into your life. And this coming week on Wednesday evening, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, I'll be hosting a new moon ritual for the membership community. So you could do that. But yeah, otherwise, next week, Monday, I'll see you here for Mystic Q&A hotline. We'll go through some questions. Theme is to be determined still. Going with the flow over here, you guys. But yeah, appreciate it. If you like this reading and you want to donate, you can do so. There's like, I don't know, there's like a super buck thing here. You can always leave a tip that way, but just thank you for being here, your support, and yeah, until the next time. Oh, sweet, Micaiah. Yeah, appreciate you. Appreciate you being here and everyone. So, okay, take care, everyone. Bye.